You're going.
Oh, that's good. Good.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad everybody's feeling all right this morning. I'm a little tired. We have coffee and stuff in the back. For starters, I just want to welcome everyone to Pyramid Plus. My name is Lacey Mailman, and I work for Early Child Adoptions. And like I said, I'm going through certification process. We're also very lucky because we have Catherine Orr here, who is an experienced Pyramid Plus certified trainer. So she's going to be able to help us, any questions that we have or anything like that. But one thing that I'm really excited about is to have all of you guys here. So now that I introduced myself, I'd love to meet you guys. So I thought what we could do is we could, and this usually works with a lot of, a few more people. But I wanted to have, kind of see what different experiences we have today. So if you are a teacher, go ahead and stand up for me. And there's the majority of the room. And I was going to ask some other things, but if you're an administrator, go ahead and stand up for me. So then I wanted to just go around and have everyone say their name, where they work, and then how many years they've been working in early childhood. Jess, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Jess. I've been going to preschool for almost 8 years, I want to say, and I'm still 10 years. And I've been working with kids for about 8 years, so it's a very, very awesome place to do this actually too. So it was good.
Thank you.
I'm Maria. I just moved here from Pennsylvania. I work at Timberland Learning Center. I started like a week and a half ago. I've been working with early childhood education since maybe 2009 at daycare, and I just graduated with my bachelor's in early childhood and elementary ed in May. So I'm working that for about 5 years.
And I'm Danny. I also work at Timberland Learning Center. I've only been there for a month, but I've been doing early childhood for probably about 5 years. I graduated last December with a degree in human development and studies.
I'm Shelley Aylshire, I'm the early childhood coordinator for the school district. Worked in early childhood for, 17 years. I was a classroom teacher and an early childhood special education teacher until last year when I moved into what we'll call an administrative role. So it's been hard. Harder than I thought to come out of the classroom. So I'm not good in an office.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's a change, that's for sure.
It's a change, but
Yeah, I'm Kelsey. I work at Carriage House. Been there for about a year. Previous to that, I worked in a preschool for about a year. So I guess about 2 years now to be now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing with me. Like I said, it's really exciting to have everyone here. Summit County has worked so hard with, getting teachers trained, administrators, child care providers in the Pyramid Plus training approach, which is so great because, Pyramid Plus is evidence-based. So, there are statistics, there are facts talking about how and why this works, which is so great. So thank you so much for sharing. You're welcome to stand for that. Or you can stay standing, whichever way you want to have it. So I just first off wanted to thank a couple of the funders. This work has been awesome throughout the state of Colorado. On a state level, the Department of Human Services, you can see there's a couple different divisions up there. The Colorado Health Foundation, Mile High United Way, and the Temple Point Eagle Foundation. And then locally, I want to thank Early Child Adoptions, who supports my time and Catherine's time and Elizabeth Lowe's time to get trained and then train other people. As well as I also want to thank your center directors, who your organizations who support you in being here, and then of course the senior center who lets us use the space, which is great. So we have an agenda for today. This is the agenda for session 1, and I have it written up here. So if you have a question at any point in time and you're not sure where we're at, it's written up on the wall for you. A few learning objectives. Today, hopefully, you're gonna gain an overview of things such as the Pyramid Plus Center, the purpose of this work, kind of an overview of the pyramid work. As well as we're going to talk about the data that shows us why this works, that evidence-based piece. So then a few logistics. First thing to do is establish some ground rules that everyone kind of shares. And we're gonna write them up here, just so everyone's on the same page for the day. So does anyone have any ground rules off the top of their head for the day?
For here?
Yes, for today, just for our 3 sessions today. I think I can throw one out there.
I don't even know what you're saying there.
So just a few ground rules, things that we all want to keep in mind. We want this to be a safe space. One of my favorite rules to throw up here, I like to call it, is the Vegas rule. And I think it was actually Catherine Orr who taught me to call it that, which I think is hilarious. The Vegas rule meaning what happens in this room stays in this room. So you're free to share if you like. In the past, there have been such as put your cell phones on vibrate, take care of your own needs. Anyone like any of those?
Those are good ones, yes.
I'm always big on confidentiality. We do live in a small community, so change names.
Okay.
Call everyone Bob or Susie or something. I don't know.
Sure.
I always think
Maybe
it's
you have a
Johnny and
tendency to
Susie.
forget,
Yeah.
and
Does anyone have anything they want to add? And you're welcome to, throughout the day, if you think of one that you want to add, I empower you to, there's plenty of markers in front of you. Come on up and write it up here. So then a few more logistics. There are a couple pieces of paper on the wall. I usually put 2 of these up, but we had a smaller group today. So behind you, underneath that quilt, is a parking lot. Which is something that is strictly for a pyramid, but I actually really like it. We've used it in a lot of different places at different times outside of pyramid as well. But what that parking lot is just a place that you can put a thought or a question. We need to stay on track time-wise today. So if we're getting off track and there's a topic that we want to come back to, we'll go ahead and put it on the parking lot. Or if there's a question that you want to ask and maybe you don't want to say it out loud, or maybe you think it's not the time, again, I empower you to grab a marker and go put it up on the parking lot. So then a few more logistics. Does everyone know where the restrooms are? Has everybody been here before? Out to the left. There's some water fountains out there. I want this to be a positive and successful training experience for you guys. I want you to come back to the rest of the session. So, I really want you guys to take care of your own needs. If you have a phone call you need to answer, or you need to send a text, or you just need 2 minutes outside, go ahead and do that. And then the last thing I wanted to look at really quick before we get started with content are the session handouts. So now the people with,